We have been taking advantage of the outdoors right now. Our parks and recreation departments have really become vital to helping us survive this pandemic. With us now, let's bring in Kelly Hyer. She's the recreation superintendent for the West Bloomfield Parks Division. Kelly, always great to have you.
Yes, thank you. Same.
It's springtime in Michigan. Yay! And the weather's been beautiful.
I can't help but looking out my window this morning and noticing more robins and cardinals swinging by. So yes, spring is in the air.
You know, it would have been okay for you to do this interview outside.
Actually, we could have. The wind sometimes is a challenge, but yes.
Yeah, last week was so super windy, but it's beautiful this week. It really kind of gives all of us spring fever, and now we're a year into the pandemic. The vaccine is becoming more widely available. It's like hope in spring at the very same time. So many great events going on at the West Bloomfield Parks Department. Tell us about some of the things on your agenda.
Sure. Well, upcoming, we have some of our April events that our residents might want to register for. So Earth Day, that's going to be on Tuesday, April 20th in the evening. We still have spots open, registration ongoing. And then we have a community garage sale right here at the Recreation Activity Center in our parking lot. So our booths are all sold out, but shoppers, mark your calendars for April 24th. It's a Saturday. It's starting at 8 a.m.
So Earth Day, we have seen such an increase of the usage of our parks and our trails throughout the pandemic. You guys have been so creative in some of the events that you have been doing. It really is kind of inspiring in its own way.
Well, thank you for noticing that. There is no bad weather if you're dressed for it, as staff likes to say around here. And Mother Nature was very nice to us. If you think about it, if our winter was a little chilly a couple weeks, right, we dropped below 10, but it was beautiful out this winter and then rolling right into spring. Think about how many sunny days we've had. It is remarkable.
So with that though, Kelly, I will say I was like, I'm taking a leap of faith. And every winter, we bring out a towel warmer for the dog. So when the dog goes out for a walk, we put the towel in the towel warmer. So when she comes back in, she has a warm towel so we can wipe her paws, right? So she has a warm towel, and it helps the snowballs melt quicker. But I said, no, it's so pretty this weekend. I'm putting it away. I'm taking a risk. Clear skies, sunny weather from here on out. But with that, we come into spring. There are things that we should know, right? I mean,
right. That's right.
So with that, I will say I live on the West Bloomfield Trail. Trash is everywhere, and to no one's fault, it's just on those windy days when the trash is picked up, it blows out on the trail. Can people just take part in any type of cleanups?
Of course. In fact, if you're a regular walker, we encourage you to stick a bag in your pocket, and then as you see trash, make sure you bring your gloves too as you pick them up. But everyone can help out with that.
So I know that every year you guys typically do a big trip to Tigers Stadium for the ball game. Is that happening this year?
Unfortunately, no. So again, your comment about how creative we've been, staff is just been very ingenious when it comes to alternative plans. So if you're 50 and over, you can register for our Tigers Day opening day lunch on April 1st, and that's in the parking lot at Connect, and it comes with 30 minutes of a program plus your lunch.
Well, we should say, though, the Tigers really haven't been so good anyway.
You're not missing a whole lot.
Yeah, well, one could say that, yes.
I mean, let's give them a few years to rebuild.
Of course.
There you go.
Before we go back into the ballpark, save yourself some money.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give out prizes, so still bless out your memorabilia and come dressed for, you do have to pre-register for the program, but we're giving out prizes for best dressed, and all the information will be in your receipt. But again, trying to do something outdoors, socially distanced, and our parking lot programs have been really popular all through the winter.
So Kelly Hyer with us here. She is the recreation superintendent for the West Bloomfield Parks Division. Do you have a Jib Jab? The app Jib Jab?
No, my husband does.
Okay.
So I am aware of what that is.
So when you do jib jab and you put in baseball, they have a Detroit jib jab. So you can put your head on the player. And so I use that every spring when we're talking about the Tigers, because it's the Detroit Tigers thing. And it's like, yeah, we lost again. We're the Detroit Tigers. So,
well, maybe we'll have to put all the seniors' pictures in there as we their photos on Thursday.
Oh, you definitely have to. And it's you can use that one, by the way. There's a paid version of Jib Jab, and then there's a free version, and you can use it on the free version. And, you run and you pick up the ball and this, that, and the other. So with that, with springtime, what other events do you guys have coming up, because Easter's on its way? Please tell me the Easter Bunny's still coming.
Of course. It is, however, sold out. So if you were enough to pre-register, I know. We're doing 2 different events. We're doing one on April 1st, and that is the Bunny Trail event. So instead of our normal tradition of Drake Sports Park, where we have 600 plus people come, we've had to scale it back, and that's on Thursday. And then Friday, we do have, if you've pre-registered for it, 20 local lucky households are getting a special visitor with some prizes. So,
Kelly, do you guys realize, you have the Easter Bunny costume, right?
I know.
You could rent that out and make some side cash.
Well, we could, maybe.
Look, these are tough times, even for our Parks and Recreation Department. We're always looking at ways to...
Ronnie, are you wanting to jump ship and come over and work for us? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that, but I will say that if you need an Easter Bunny, I will put on the costume. I was Teddy Tornado when I was in high school.
So you had official training. Love it.
That thing was so hot. People don't realize how hot.
Mascots are very hot. I was the Biffalo back, and it's the Biff style mascot, 88.1, the
Both
Biff.
of you.
I was the Biffalo.
Make guest appearances for us.
See, look at that. People don't realize those costumes are so hot, but you really have to animate your arms. But I was a cheerleader, and then for the JV games, I would put on the costume to help them out in this, that, and the other. So,
well, now I know 2 other people to call on our list. So.
There you go, Kelly. And I will say, our neighborhood, I know that I live in Harbor Village in Kegel Harbor. Sometimes someone in our neighborhood has access to a bunny costume, so they'll do that where the bunny will hop through the neighborhood and this, that, and the other. So
Yep, you got to have those connections.
With that, Kelly Hyer with us here. She is the Recreation Superintendent for the West Bloomfield Parks Division. We have been so incredibly lucky to live here in our community throughout this pandemic, and it has to do so much with the West Bloomfield Parks and all that you offer us each and every day. And with that, Kelly, any other upcoming events or any information that you want the public to know about?
Sure. Well, if you've noticed, last week we opened our tennis courts, our pickleball courts, and all our playgrounds are now open. And most of our bathrooms will be opened in another 2 weeks. So we are opening up. Bear with us. Some of the trails are quite muddy. So as we get some more windy and sunny days, those trail conditions will improve. So if you have a normal route and it's a little underwater, maybe try something different. And our recreation guide is coming out, our summer edition. It'll be online on next Monday, and in your mailboxes if you live in West Bloomfield Township the first week of April. And registration does begin April 5th.
Kelly Hyer with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. She is the Recreation Superintendent for West Bloomfield Parks. And Kelly, as we are heading back somewhat toward normalcy with the vaccination process being where it's at, for a lot of this pandemic, seniors have been isolated at home in particular. Their social isolation's been significantly greater than other populations in our community. West Bloomfield Parks Connect had just opened shortly before the pandemic. It was really starting to get popular. It was a great place for seniors to go. Is Connect back open, or are programs currently running through Connect that are helping to kind of re-engage our local senior population?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are in constant conversations about when we are going to reopen, and those are part of our weekly operational discussions. So no date yet, but if you are a Connect member, and you're right, Tyler, our membership took off last year as soon as we opened. So our members will hear first when we are ready to reopen. In the meantime, you continue to check out what we have to offer outside or in our parking lot series or virtual programming, because we started late last August all the way through fall and winter with some really unique events. So we're still continuing to bring those to our seniors until we can safely reopen.
Kelly, we always so enjoy having you on the show. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Anything maybe we didn't touch on that you wanted to add before we say goodbye, though?
No, I think you asked about, you asked some great questions this morning. So that's all I have.
So, Kelly, I will say before we say goodbye, I've been on Pinterest. And so now I'm inspired, because I see your sign, to make some really cool Easter eggs. Because before I would just, there are so many nonprofits right now that are collecting the plastic Easter eggs, and then they, put things in them for the kids. But there are some really cool, super fancy, like Beyond Martha Stewart Easter eggs that you can design out there. So the pressure is on, Kelly.
Tell you what, Pinterest is a go-to. Thinking back, I started my career 20 years ago. We didn't have those resources. It was, you would have to subscribe to a magazine that came in the mail and rip out the pages that you found inspiring. So now, as in this career, Pinterest is a go-to. Lots of clever ideas.
So many. I will say my husband is so excited I found Pinterest, because I have so many stacks of magazines. They're like 10 years old, and I'm still holding on to them, because one day I might get to them. He's like, but you have Pinterest now. Where was Pinterest
Ronnie,
when I got married?
You have a career in Parks and Recreation. I think you need to think about your next step there.
How about volunteer?
That's right. Hey, that's great too.
Kelly, we so appreciate your time and all the work that you're doing, but your entire team over there. You guys have had a long year.
Exactly.
But you really have adjusted to serve our community, and we so appreciate it.